Hey guys, I'm recording another video. I'm bored. No one's at home, except me and my dogs. I'm just sort of recording this video. I don't know. It's just sort of a thought process that makes me wonder. A lot of us buy gear that we think is really, really good, but we don't need it. Or we trade for a piece of gear that had up for sale for another piece of gear that we also don't need. I sort of covered this in one of my other videos because I did that recently. I traded a Headrush pedalboard modeler for a Ibanez 2610 RG E, whatever it was, prestige model guitar. I did pretty well on the trade. It's essentially equivalent value, maybe a little bit more than what I traded, to a guy who, he just didn't have the money to spend on a modeler. And he knew he wouldn't be able to trade it to a store to get the modeler to try out for the same pricing. You're always going to lose when you trade to a store, no matter what. We've all been there. We've all lost. We've sort of decided, we'll try to do it privately, which was sort of the reason even for putting the modeler up for sale. It's like I found out how much I could get for trading it towards couple different basses, a different modeler just to try out a different modeler just for the heck of it, and guitars, but every time it was like I'm getting probably 3/4 of what it could be sold for. There's never just like a markup where they get 10% of what they add 10% to what they sell it for. No, they're making a good 25-30% most of the time. I love all the guys at our store, but, I still don't like getting screwed or anything. So it's sort of that question of, we trade for gear we don't need. Some of us just get, we get a lot of, a lot of us, all of us, whatever. Some guys are lucky they don't get hooked on gear, they buy a couple of guitars and maybe a couple of amps and maybe a few pedals, and, they're good for the rest of their lives, and then you get the rest of us who, we end up getting stuck. I mean, I'm in my 20s and I own 13 or 14 guitars and a couple of basses, as well as various amplifiers and other random pedals and gear. So we get, some of us just get hooked on stuff, but every once in a while, some guys are really good. They're very fluid in that they buy and trade. They have a few pieces of gear that they love, that those are like dear to their heart. So they're not going to trade them or sell them. They're going to keep, and they're fluid at trading their gear and trying new stuff. Some of us still, though, we get those few pieces of gear. Okay, this isn't going anywhere. I mean, my Jackson San Dimas Adrian Smith model, that's not going anywhere. But we have other gear where it's like, man, I hardly touch this, but I absolutely love it, and I can't get rid of it. And we just sort of get to that point of, what do I need this for? Well, I don't need it, but I'm keeping it anyway. Or like me, where I traded this the modeler, the Headrush modeler, for the Ibanez, and it's like, the Ibanez is a guitar that doesn't fit into what I need right now. I don't know if it'll ever fit into what I absolutely need, but we do the trade. Yeah, cool. I can sell it for more money, but, whatever. But, I get it home and it's like, I know I made a good trade, no matter what. But, I get home and I play it for a little while, and, then I get it downstairs to plug it in my amp, and it's like, this guitar is absolutely phenomenal. I still have no use for it in my current setup, as it were. But, I know it's a good quality piece of gear, and it's just like, wow, where can I get 5 more just because it's great? Sorry, just need some fluids. It's a gorgeous piece of gear, but it's a RG Strat shaped guitar that has one humbucker and a Floyd, and it's like, I'm one of these people where I have a love-hate relationship with Floyds. It's like, they're absolutely fantastic until you have to set one up or tune it, and on top of that, I'm hardly ever using it as a Floyd. I'm hardly ever using the tremolo itself. Like, last couple bands, I used my tremolo for maybe 5 or 6 songs in total. But you know, it's that whole thing of, okay, it's good to have one or two around, but it's like, well, why do I have another one? But I sit here but it's like, it's such a great piece of gear. Am I going to regret it if I sell it? Am I really, really, really going to regret it? And part of me thinks yes, and part of me thinks no. And a lot of us get stuck on this type of stuff. We sort of get stuck in that need versus want area of, okay, this is fantastic, but am I ever going to use it? And should I keep it, or should I trade it for something that is more value to me at this moment, or more appealing to me at this moment? You know, that's sort of a question that I don't think there's an answer to, because every one of us is going to think it through differently. Even I'm stuck. I sit here and it's like, there's a lot of Ibanez guys who think this guitar is like the coolest thing ever. Here, I'll just pull it out, even though it's on other videos in my channel. It's a Prestige model. It's made by the Fujigen factory. There's guys who absolutely love this. Hey, I think it looks badass, and it definitely plays totally badass. And I say that as a guy who's been, I haven't owned an Ibanez for a while, and it's like, I owned, what was it, one of the, what's it called, Iron Label series, that's the one, for a while, but I got a couple of Legator 7 strings that I liked better, so I sold the Iron Label. It was still a fabulous guitar, but it's just like, I like these a little bit more, and it makes sense. And I don't need 5 7 strings, because I'm still mostly playing 6 strings. So, you know, there's times where where it is that simple. It's like, I like these more. If I do need more, maybe I'll just buy more of these instead, or, you know, even try something completely different. Do I still have days with that Iron Label where I say, well, that was stupid, that was a good guitar, I should have just yeah, okay, I still have days like that. But there's times where it's like, the piece of gear is even so much better that it's just like, why would I let this go? It's so beautiful. And it plays amazingly, and I don't know if, it's sort of in that same category of, I don't know if I'm ever going to use it versus other stuff, just because it doesn't have all the amenities like a second humbucker. I like having a second pickup on most of my guitars, and I have lots of Super Strat type guitars anyway. I mean, I'm at 4 Super Strat guitars, and not to mention a Tele, sort of a Super Strat Tele and the Jim Root Tele, where it's two EMG humbuckers on a Tele body. There's already a review on that guitar, so. But it's that whole, okay, we sort of have to ask ourselves, this is just the way, what do we need versus what do we want? And sometimes it's okay to just want a piece of gear, even if you're not going to use it. I'm a person who gets stuck on these things, because it's like, if there's someone who can enjoy it more, they should be enjoying it more than I ever will. But I still get stuck on times, because especially with it, like the Ibanez, it's Fujigen, Japanese built. It is gorgeous. I really am. It's a guitar where I struggle to. It's like, I don't know when I'm going to use this, but I struggle thinking of letting it go, because it is just such a beautiful, amazingly well built, and amazing sounding, feeling piece of gear. You know, so this is just sort of a rambling video where I'm just sort of talking, guys, and gals. Sorry, I don't mean to be sexist. I'm tired, and so I'm just sort of talking. What do you think on this stuff? Do you keep the piece of gear that's just amazing, or sell it to someone who's going to enjoy it more? Are you a guy who's just going to hoard? Are you someone who's just going to hoard gear, or are you going to, you know, sort of thin yourself out and go with need versus want? You know, like I said, want is sometimes just okay, but you know, we ask ourselves these questions. So, you know, I just ask you. Just comment. Let me know what you think on stuff like this. Doesn't mean I'm going to follow your advice. Not that you should be following mine either. But, you know, it's that need versus want, and you know, your struggles with some stuff like this. Anyway, like I said, I've rambled on long enough on nothing. Yeah. Nice to see you, YouTube. It's nice to be back. Hopefully I can start doing a few more videos now that I'm kind of well. I've had some medical stuff, both it's been like 2 years since I've really, there was medical stuff a couple years ago, and there's been medical stuff recently that's just sort of kept me from doing this, as well as house renovations, which cluttered up my corner here, which is still cluttered up, but slightly less. I've still got sheets over top of my guitar hangers, keeping all the guitars covered. But you know what, YouTube, let me know. I just want to know how you feel. It's been Jackson Lewis from Canada. Have a good day.